Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, the Houston Astros beat the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0. Great win for the Astros to go to 8-9, 4-4 on the road now. Not only that, first shutout of the season for the Astros, and I think more impressively, the Astros give the Cardinals their first shutout of the season. This Cardinals offense has actually been pretty good to start off the year, and so for the Astros to give them that first shutout, I thought was really good right there. Now, here's the thing I would say. This offensively, this wasn't a great game. I thought you had some really good hits by Jake Myers. You had a big bomb by Yordan outside of that. And then, a double for Jose, that didn't bring any runs. Offensively, I thought this was a bad performance. The Astros strand the bases loaded twice. Poor game with runners in scoring position, 1 for 7. Probably the worst game the Astros had in runners scoring position and a win this season. They've had worse games this year with runners in scoring position, but in wins, this was probably the worst. The Astros actually been probably a lot better, and this is going to be with most teams, but significantly better with runners in scoring position and wins than losses, that's going to be for most teams, but the numbers are completely different. Like, really bad in losses with runners in scoring position. And so offensively, I thought this was 7 hits, not bad. Out-hit the Cardinals. Offensively, this was a bad performance. Pitching, this was a masterpiece for the Astros team. You limited the Cardinals, a good offense who killed you yesterday to only 6 hits, no runs, and the pitching was amazing. Hunter Brown, his second straight no earned run game, and I think you have to be very, very excited for what you saw with the pitching today of Hunter Brown and what you saw. When you saw Josh Hader close it, and even in between the middle of those two guys of the two Bryans, Brian Abreu and Brian King. I think it's phenomenal. And you know what? The thing I think we've seen this year is each time this Astros team looks pathetic and embarrassing on the pitching side of things, and that has not been the case much this season, because the Astros pitching staff has probably been one of the best in Major League Baseball. But each time they have looked embarrassing, each time they go back out there and kill it. Like, you want to look at when the Astros collapsed against the Mariners the other day when they were down 5-0 and lost 7-6. What did we see the next game? Only 3 earned runs against the Angels, who were, the previous game had hit like 6 home runs. And were one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball going into that game. And the Astros only let them get 3 runs after that collapse that they had against the Mariners. You want to go... this wasn't that bad of it wasn't a good pitching game when they lost on Saturday against the Angels. Look, I'm not gonna act like it wasn't that bad of a pitching performance. The Angels scored 4 runs, but you lost and you gave up 4 runs, and it wasn't that great of a performance. What did they do the next day? They won, and the runs went down to 3. Or you look at the final example I'll go over is when the Astros lost the first game of the series against Seattle last week, and they had that collapse. Taylor Scott had that collapse, and then the next game, the Astros go 12 innings and only give up 1 run, and the pitching was phenomenal. And then you have today, where yesterday the Cardinals go out there and give you 8 runs, which is one of the highest totals the Astros give all season, and just embarrass your ace pitcher. And then today, the Astros pitching, does what they did today. So I think you've seen every time this Astros pitching looks the way they did yesterday, where they look bad, they always bounce back, and I think that's great to see. And so yeah. All right, 2-0 is the final score. 7 hits for the Astros, 6 for the Cardinals. Like I said, it wasn't a great offensive performance. Pitching was the headline for the Astros in this one. 0 errors in the ballgame for both teams. Win goes to HB on a Brown, 2-1, 6 innings, 4 hits, getting up, 0 runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Last couple outings has been phenomenal, but strikeouts, not a lot of strikeouts come for Hunter Brown. He honestly, I want to say he only had 4 or 5 strikeouts in his first outing. He had you look at his first 2 outings, and this is nothing bad about Hunter, because Hunter's has been the best out of this rotation so far. No offense to Hayden Wesneski, he's been great too, but Hunter Brown has been the highlight of this rotation so far. And so he's been phenomenal. It's nothing against him. But his first start against the Mets and then his start against the Twins, he had more strikeouts in both those starts, not combined, but just those starts. Then he had more strikeouts in each of those starts than he has had in his last two starts combined. The strikeouts have been down for Hunter his last two outings, but it's not like he's been giving up a lot of damage. Only 4 hits given up today, only 2 walks, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Just giving up a lot of contact last couple games. Giving up a lot of contact, and not only that, but pitching well too. So I think that's great to see for Hunter. Loss goes to Eric Fetty. He's 1-2 now. He didn't pitch bad. It was just Hunter outpitched him. Went 6 innings, 6 hits, given up 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. He didn't pitch very good compared to Hunter, but it was still not a bad outing for him. Save goes to Josh Hader, his 4th of the year. 1 strikeout. He's still 4 for 4 in save opportunities this year. And here's the one thing I will say I want to talk about Josh Hader and Hunter Brown. You can talk about the Astros struggling off to the year. The Astros have had some struggles so far. The 2 things I will say about the Astros struggle so far is 8-9 through the first 17 games. Just a reminder to everybody, the Astros were 6-11 in their first 17 games last year. So record-wise, they're on a better pace to start out the year than they were last year. And then also the other thing I will say is, let's talk about how Hunter Brown and Josh Hader, I mean, those are 2 guys last year. All Astros fans were heavily complaining about Hunter Brown, Josh Hader this time, around this time last year, and they were huge problems for the Astros last year. Josh Hader looked hideous to start off the season last year. It was really bad. So did him and Ryan Presley. And Hunter Brown was just it was bad to watch to start off last season. It was not fun to watch at all. And that was a huge problem to start off the year. Now you look at the pitching, which it's not like Josh Hader and Hunter Brown have been the only highlights of this pitching group so far. You've got Hayden Wesneski, who's been really good as a starter for this Astros team. Spencer was looking really good before he got injured. Guys like Brian King and Brian Abreu have looked pretty solid out of the bullpen so far. And I think there have been pieces of the bullpen that's looked really good. So, and Ryan Gusto's looked phenomenal. So, you look at this team, and I mean, pitching is looking a lot better, especially with these 2 guys that pitched 7 of the 9 innings for the Astros, and Josh Hader and Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown's ERA at this point through 4 starts is 1.50. Josh Hader in 7 games, I believe it is now for Josh Hader. Might be 8. No, it's 7 games. I want to say it's 7 games for it. This might have been Josh Hader's 6th game of the season, because he has 4 saves and 2 wins. So I believe this was his 6th game. In 6 games, has a 1 ERA. Has only given up 1 earned run all season, and that was the first game of the season for the Astros. And has pitched 2 games so far for the Astros where he goes multiple innings, 9th and 10th inning. They have been phenomenal, and that was not the case to start off last season, which is great for Hunter and Josh. Scoring summary, Jake Myers hit an RBI single for the Astros in the 6th inning to make it 1-0. It scored Pena. Álvarez hit a home run to definitely make that lead more comfortable. 419 feet, 2-0. I think that's great for Yordan. Yordan had some real bad struggles to start off this series. His 3-4 at-bats yesterday, his first 3 at-bats today, made very solid contact in yesterday's game and today's game, hitting the ball hard, but just some tough plays for Yordan. And so you knew he was due to send one out, or at least get a hit, see one fall. And so, but that was Yordan hitting one out and hit a home run to center, 419 feet. It was 2-0 after that home run for Yordan Álvarez. It was great to see. Let's go over the individual batters. Jose Altuve, like I mentioned, had a double, but the Astros, even though it was 0 outs, cannot bring him in, which was very disappointing in that point in the 3rd inning. He flied out and struck out twice outside that. I'm sure that hit had to feel really good for Jose, because Jose in his previous 3 games was hitless, so that double had to feel really good for Altuve. Isak over 4 today. He has struggled the last couple games as they're being red hot. for the Astros and the Angels series. But I don't think these struggles for Isak can be very surprising when we know that the heater he was on in the Angels series, and also knowing that he's going to be worse on the road than he is at home, especially with how much of a monster he is when the Astros play at Dyken Park, as I almost said, Minute Maid. Yordan went 1 for 4. He was 0 for 3 with some hard hit balls, line out, ground out, fly out before his home run, but that home run really helped the Astros win this game. Christian Walker went 0 for 3. He was hit by pitch in the 8th inning. First 3 at-bats went 0 for 3. Tough day for Christian, as that's been most days this season. Jeremy Pena went 1 for 3 today. Second inning walk, the 6th inning double to left, and then he made a great play off of a Jake Meyers single to score in the 6th. So you love to see that from JP. So he had a pretty good day today for the Astros. Yainer Diaz, had that amazing game Friday night ever since has gone back into that struggling phase. Struck out once today. I mean, he made solid contact. He had a flat in the 6th. Tough luck. Amazing catch by Jordan Walker. I'm very unfortunate for Yainer Diaz there. That was right before the Jake Meyers RBI single. He could have. We might not be talking about Jake Meyers hitting an RBI single. It might have been Yainer Diaz to bring in Pena instead of Jake, but instead Jordan Walker made a great catch in the 6th inning off of Yainer Diaz, and then the next at bat, Jordan Walker tried to make that same catch against Jake Meyers and he failed. But tough day for Yainer. Jake Meyers Yordan was great. Hunter Brown was probably the best player today, but offensively, yes, Yordan, I thought, had an amazing home run today for the Astros, but I thought Jake Meyers was probably the best guy offensively for the Astros today. Single in the 2nd inning to center, Pena to third. The Astros were not able to score in that 2nd inning. 4th inning single to center in the 4th, and then 6th inning single to right to bring in Pena to get the Astros on the board, which I thought was really good for them. Not only that, he had a stolen base, which is his 6th stolen base of the year. That is crazy. Keep in mind, Jake stole 11 bags last year. It is not even 20 games in the season yet. You still got 3 more games until you're 20 games in, and he is already more than halfway through the number he had of stolen bases last year. That is nuts. If I'm Jake Meyers, I'm trying to reach 20 stolen bases, and that honestly, I feel it feels like that maybe was a little bit unrealistic going into the season. But at this point, with how good Jake has been with stealing bases so far this year, 20 stolen bags might be realistic for Jake Meyers this year. Unbelievable game for him. Cam Smith went 1 for 3 today. I thought his first 2 at-bats were great. Really his first 3 at-bats I would say were great. A walk in the 2nd inning, fourth inning single to right, Meyers is 2nd, and then 6th inning lined into double play, pitcher to first, Meyers doubled off first. This was an amazing hit by Jake Meyers, but an unbelievable play by Eric Fetty. Unbelievable. Nothing wrong with what Cam Smith did here. This was all the pitcher, Eric Fetty. Unbelievable. So, yeah. And then Chas McCormick came in late defensively for Cam, but did not at bat. Dubon went 0 for 3 with a walk today that loaded the bases in the 4th. That was it for him. Hunter Brown, I mentioned, went 6 innings. He was great. Brian King pitched the 7th inning, 1 hit, giving up no earned runs, no walks, 0 strikeouts. Has yet to give up an earned run so far this season. Unbelievable for the Astros. Brian Abreu pitched in the 8th inning, gave it 1 hit, but no runs. His ERA is down to 3.52. So all 4 guys that have pitched for the Astros today looked great. The 2 Bryans and Hader and Brown. So great win for the Astros today, 2-0. And I think it'd be nice to see the Astros get a series win, but more importantly, more than that, get your first back-to-back wins of the season. That 89 is the Astros record, but if the Astros have yet to win back-to-back games this season, I like the Astros' chances tomorrow. Reynel Blanco's on the mound, and yes, the Cardinals got Steve Matz on the mound, and the Astros hitters have a lot of success going up against him. And if you look at it, this offense has not been very good in these 2 games at all. 3 runs yesterday, 2 runs today. Not even 15 hits in these 2 games. I think it's 13, 14 hits in these 2 games. The offense is due for a really good day tomorrow. And they won today because of the pitching. So their offense is due for a good day. And I think they could get that tomorrow with facing I'm not gonna say a bad pitcher in Steve Matz, but a pitcher that the Astros offense has a lot of success against. 5 different Astros have taken him deep. So that's interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.